Welcome everybody. Today we're going to be installing the Gen 3 door lock kit on a 2023 Defender Limited. You can see we start here with the door lock cylinder template. Got it taped up, kind of borders that door handle, follow that edge of the door. You can see that line there lines up with our door handle. Now we're going to take a center punch, mark the center of that hole. Alright, so now we can take that off. It's also double-sided for your other side, driver's side door. And then you remove a T20 right up here. And then you have a T30 here, one up here, and then one down there. Once you get all those off, pull this rear part up and out. Now there's a bunch of clips at the top. Once you get those off, lift the door panel up and back. Lights off. Drill that hole out later. So now, we can start moving the door handle here. This is where we'll mount our locking case. We'll start by just taking off this handle itself. You can leave that there, we won't need that. Now we'll take two T30s and remove these bolts here. Stop the video. Alright, so now that we have that handle bracket off, I'll put the pin back in and put this front template right on top of there. And you want to line up this edge here as well as this top edge there, get it flush. So once you're happy with that, take a center punch. You're just going to mark that hole right there. Okay, and once that's done, take this off and flip it around. Take the pin out. Turn your door handle bracket around. And put all this back on. Okay, and then same thing. This edge here, this edge there. So now we're good to mark the hole. Alright. So once we have both of those marked, we'll take a 1/4" drill bit, drill out that hole and that hole there. Okay. So once you have the upper and lower holes drilled out, next step will be to take that 1/4" drill bit and run it through the handle itself. So you want to make sure you got your drill bit nice and straight. Don't be cockeyed or wobbled, or else your pin won't line up. Now, just go over through it. Okay. There's that. You can see the holes are nice and concentric. If your holes are offset by even the smallest amount, your pin's going to be hanging up. And so if you're having trouble locking it or you find the pin's not reaching this top bracket, it's likely because your top hole is offset. So, all right, now for the next step, we're going to go from the bottom where we're going to mount the locking case. You're going to take this template here and put this little nub there into that hole. Just like that. So you can see it pivots in there. And you just want to get this right up to the edge. You want that bolt to clear your handle, but you also don't want it to hit the very back there. So that looks good to me. Now we'll just drill this out with a 1/4" drill bit, and that will be where we will bolt the lock case into place. Alright, so now after you have that mounting hole drilled, we'll take that 10mm and just bolt the case up. As you can see, it moves freely, doesn't hang up at all. And so now we'll take our handle, we'll line up these spring tabs there. And then when you're pushing it in, you want to pull this pin down. See how that lines up. Put this pin in, just like so. And now the pin moves freely. And if I just let go, you can see I'm not pushing up on the pin at all to get it to go into the top of the bracket. If yours is not going up into the top, you can either drill out this top hole here until it does slide up into place. This just means your holes aren't symmetrical. So today we'll be replacing these springs that we've normally been using on the door locks to connect the lock cylinders to the lock cases themselves. So now we have these pieces here, which actually stop and you can't overstretch, and it's a lot easier to install. So what you'll do is install it the same way you did the spring. However, these have cotter pins that go through the bottom, and you can see on the rear door we use a flat bracket now instead of over here on the front door using the angled pieces. So this is how it should look when you go to install it on the door. And to install it, all you'll do is take a zip tie through there and then hook it around your lock cylinder, and you'll tighten that down. And that'll be it. It works the same way as the springs, but should be a lot less problems. So we're back in the machine now. We got this bracket reinstalled. All our holes are drilled. So now what we're gonna do is put this rod back in here. Pull that down, put the handle back in there. Put the pin in. See, now it's locked. Make sure you don't have too much free play here. You shouldn't be able to open the door at all. If you have too much free play, then your hole that you drilled in the plastic handle is too large. So now at this point, we put this clip on the bottom back on. Alright, so now that you have your door lock cylinder into the door, you can see this is about the range of motion you want. And then we're going to start with it all the way up to put the lock, or the spring on the lock cylinder. And then here you see we put this clip and it lines up with that chamfer in the actual housing. So now we'll just pull this down. I'm going to open the handle, leave it open, don't let go. And we'll start reinstalling everything. This is the hard part. Alright, so after you've got it attached like so, you're going to take your key. You're just going to lock it. Or, I'm sorry, this will be unlocked. Let's pull that out. That's going to keep tension on the spring so it doesn't fall off while we're putting this all together. Alright, so now we're looking at the pin right at the top of the handle. You can see it back there. What you want to do is make sure that when you unlock it and then you lock it, see it's coming all the way up to the top. And if it's not, if you have too much slack in your spring, back on, the spring will actually fall off your lock cylinder. So what I would do is put this in here, and then you take both hands, and then just turn the lock cylinder in the door, and that'll add more spring tension or less. You know, if you go the opposite way. But just make sure you have enough tension, your spring's not falling off, and make sure that it's not too tight, that top pin isn't going to the top of the bracket. Ready? Same thing for the front doors. We're going to take out 3 T30s, no T20 on this one. You're going to remove the upper bolt here, not the lower one. And you have another T30 right down here. And then the third one is right up in here. After you get those removed, we've already taken our panel off, but same deal. Pull it out, pull it back up and out. And then the whole panel will come off. And after that is done, we'll take your rear door drill templates, line up with your handle cutout right in there, and line up that upper corner. And then mark your hole, drill it out, and put your lock cylinder in there. So now you take your provided drill template, and then you're going to place it right on top here. And just push down right where that pin goes through for your door handle. And then you want to line up these tabs here. So right now it's a little off-centered. So when you mark your hole, just make sure that those are lining up. And take your center punch, put it right through that little hole, guide pin. Punch the hole, or mark the hole, I guess. And then you're going to drill it out using a 9/32 drill bit. So slightly bigger than the 1/4 inch pin that goes in there. It just allows for a little more room in case you misdrill the hole slightly. So after you drill out this top hole here, you're going to take the lower template, which is just a mirror of the lock case. So we're going to slide that tab back over like that. And then you're going to do the same thing, mark the hole. You can see right there, it lines up perfect. So after that is done, you'll now take the lock case right here, pull the pin back, grab the eyelet, and then same type of deal, take that tab, slide it over, see the pin pops up. And you're also going to make sure that this here clip kind of slides right into that chamfer. So that allows room for that. You're going to take that 6mm bolt, just thread it into that insert, and you'll tighten that down with an 8mm wrench. Alright, so after you have your lock case installed, you're going to pull the pin down, open the handle. You can let go of the pin there. Just try not to let go when you're installing the door panel because it will lock again. There's no way to get at this with the door panel on. And you're going to slide this handle in here. Now, I'll come over here and see our spring that we need to attach to that eyelet. So I'm just gonna reach up in here, grab that spring, just gonna loop it on that just like so. So now same thing, line up the lower tabs. Two in the front, and the rear. Alright, so now we're going to test the operation of the lock. See the door open and closes just fine. Now we'll stick our key in here. Turn to the left. There we have it, door's locked. So if you find that your door is not unlocking or you feel it hanging up, you'll want to turn the lock cylinder clockwise to provide more spring pressure to pull that arm down, and then vice versa, turn it to the left if it is not engaging all the way. Alright, so this next segment of the video only applies to the 2024 Defender Limiteds. So they changed this rear door handle bracket here so it doesn't have this lower ledge that you would normally bolt that case to. So, what that you do with 2024, you want to remove these two T30s right here. And take this whole handle bracket off. If you want to get the clip. Alright, so right there. Just kind of push it over the finger. You can see that rod slides right up and out. And now this one we've already drilled the holes, but I'll show you the template, what you'll do with it. So take the one marked with the R, lay it right over that handle pin, and then you'll take a center punch and you'll mark both holes, well, not the top one on this one in this case, but just the lower one. And then once that's marked and drilled, you can pop the handle out. And you flip it upside down and put the pin back through. And then take that template again, this time flip it over. And then you'll do the same thing, make sure that top edge is flush. You'll mark that hole, and then you'll mark this hole and drill this one through. So after all the holes are drilled, you can reassemble the handle. So I'll take this. Alright, so with the bracket reinstalled, you can pop this handle out like this. Just set it off to the side, and this will make it easier to install the lock case. So we'll pull that back, pop that in. Take the 8mm and thread it in at the rear. It's a little tight, be a little tricky. Alright, so after you have that bolted up like so, pull this back, and we'll pop the handle back into its place. Push that pin back through. Take that clip. And then when you put the clip in, there's a chamfer on that lock case. Right in there, so you want to kind of, oops, just line it up with that best you can. Pop that clip on. And then now pull this back, open the door, reinstall the door panel,